Have you ever thought you captured a great sports or action shot, only to find that your subject appears blurry in your photo? It's very common. It's caused by a slow shutter speed. Shutter speed is the length of time the shutter remains open. To get a great sports action shot, the first step is to have a plan. Know in advance what kinds of shots you want to get. Of course, being familiar with the sport helps you determine which shots would be interesting to capture. The next step is to position yourself in the best available locations to capture the action. These locations may vary as the game, activity, or time of day goes on. In general, keep the sun at your back. If you can't get close to the action, a telephoto zoom lens is helpful if you're shooting with a digital SLR camera. Your next step is to be in the right place at the right time. Take into account any shutter lag your camera has. Shutter lag is the time between when you press the shutter button and when the camera actually captures the image. Sometimes the timing is so critical that you may need to be a split second early to capture that peak moment. The next step is to be aware of the background and elements around your area of focus. Unless a cluttered or busy background adds context, keep it simple and non-distracting. Once you have your spot for shooting your photo, make sure your camera is set for sports photography. Using the correct shutter speed or shooting mode selection is the key to capturing good action shots. If your camera doesn't allow you to manually set your shutter speed, select the sports or action mode setting. This mode is usually indicated by an icon of someone running. If you are able to manually set shutter speed, set your camera to shutter priority mode, usually represented by an S, so that if the light changes, the shutter speed stays the same. Shoot at a fast shutter speed in order to capture action. A high number such as 1/250th of a second or 1/500th of a second should work for most sports. Shooting at a slow shutter speed, such as 1/30th of a second, will result in motion blur for almost all action photos. Once you begin photographing an event, review your photos on your camera's LCD screen and make sure the subjects are not blurry. If they are, bump up the shutter speed to a higher number and see if that does the trick. When shooting in low light, try a higher ISO setting. ISO refers to how sensitive your digital camera's sensor is to light. A higher ISO number picks up more light, and a lower number less. Just be aware that raising the ISO may add something called noise, which looks like graininess, to your images. If you're trying to capture a sequence, such as a baseball pitcher in his windup and delivery, set your camera to continuous shooting mode or rapid frame advance and fire away.